morning. This lesson is for section 10.2. It's the very last lesson of Math 154. We're going to just look at Excel's if function in a little more details. But I kind of got you already practicing this if function on the last 3 Excel homework. And I saw somebody already finishing this homework, so that's great. If you know how to do it, that's great. I'm just gonna go over the notes with you. And the reason I'm doing this on my desktop, I usually, record these on my iPad as I want to write my write with handwriting. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna record this on my laptop because I want to show you that we can actually check these by using Excel. Because I did write these commands. We should probably start with equal sign. You can check your answers by just typing the formula into Excel, and they will just give you the output. Hey, it's true. But I want to talk about why, how is Excel deciding in between either going with what true versus false. Of course, I'll spend some time talking about why they're doing that. But if you just want to quickly check your answer, like as later, we're going to get something a little more complicated, like what? Oh, wow. Some of these nested Excel, the nested functions. I'm going to go ahead and copy this one real quick. And, example 3 is just all about determining the output of the if function. And what you want to do is, if you just want to kind of check the answer, you can type this in Excel. But, you want to start your formula with if, and then hit enter. It says the answer is Monday. And the answer for this is going to be Monday. But I'm going to spend probably about 30-minute lesson, as I just have 4 examples in these 2 pages. Very short, but the last thing that I will go over, and I put 1 problem on your final exam from this section. So let's go over this together. Just quickly, just a symbol for logical test real quick. The less than symbol, the greater symbol. There is no way for us to type in this equal sign in the bottom of it. So less than or equal to is going to be less than symbol and then an equal sign immediately after it. That's how you type in less than or equal to. Looks almost like an arrow pointing to the left. But that's how you type in less than or equal to. Let me go over these symbols with you, because one of them is pretty new. What about this one? Greater than and then an equal sign. That means greater than or equal to. Okay, because there's no way for us to type in greater than or equal to symbol in Excel. This is what you're going to have to type. And take a look at this one for me. First, a greater symbol and a less than symbol put together, looking like a rhombus or a rhombus. Yeah. This means does not equal. Now, you know how we actually have these symbols, like in math type, we can draw symbols like this, right? That's the symbol for does not equal, but on Excel, you're just going to type in less than and greater than right next to each other, and that is the symbol for does not equal in Excel. Okay, just kind of got to learn these symbols when we type in these logical tests up. You've seen the if function before, so let's take a look. We got 2 learning objectives in 10.2. First, we're going to look at if then else syntax, and we're going to look at couple a little more complicated, explore nested if functions, but they're all if functions. So we'll look at those together. First, let's look at the basic if function that you've been working with. You type in equal sign and you type in if for if function, and then if you open a parenthesis or double click on the function, they will give you what they want. They want 3 inputs, right? First, what's the logical test that you want me to perform? That's Excel asking you. Excel's going to ask you, what's the test that you want me to perform? Because depending on whether that is true or false, the Excel will give you 2 different outputs. So after that, give them the logical test, put a comma. The first thing that you're going to enter after the comma will be the value that Excel will spit out or give back if that logical test comes out to be true. If it is false, put another comma and tell them to give something else. So these can be simply yes or no. This can be a number, or this can be just even a phrase. And we'll take a look at these, how to type these or how to read these. So you need 3 things. Logical test. What do they want you to perform? What you want the Excel to perform? And the second thing is if it comes out to be true, what do you want your output to be? The third thing, if it comes out to be false, because it's going to be either true or false, there's not going to be gray area. It's either going to be true or false. If it comes out to be false, you want Excel to give the third input that you give them. So 3 things to remember. Let's look at an if function. So determine the outputs of the following if function. Let me go ahead and, this is a formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to type up what they are trying to say, okay? So this is what they're saying. If 10 is less than or equal to 20. All right, let me go ahead and highlight this. This is a logical test. Oh, whoopsie, that's a little too dark. If 10 is less than or equal to 20, did I spell then wrong? Oh, whoopsie, I did. All right, so the logical test is what I highlighted in blue. If 10 is less than or equal to 20, then that's why, because we just went over what? Oh, the conditional statements, and I used this then for that one. Okay, then then say true. Okay, so this is the first one number that you will see is if that is true, then you're gonna say, the Excel will say, hey, it's true. But if else, say what? False. Hold on. I'm trying to, what I'm trying to do, guys, here is I'm trying to like translate this Excel language, this formula into a sentence. So the first blue part is the logical test. If 10 is less than or equal to 20, then we want Excel to say true. If it's not true, if else, like not true, well, yeah, if else, then we want it to say false. So let's see. Is 10 less than or equal to 20? Yes, right? 10 is less than or equal to 20. Therefore, the output should be what? It should be true. And as you are doing this on your homework or on your exam, you may want to double check, right? So what you can do is you can copy this, go to Excel, and then actually type this in. Like on an Excel, you can type in this, starting with if, not with a. Hit enter, true. It's going to give us true. But I want you to understand why Excel is giving us true, because the logical test, that was true. Let's do 2 more. All right, if, I'm going to go ahead and start typing just like I did the other one. If 10 plus 2 equals 4 times 7 divided by 2 is true, then say Devon. Or if else, say Lozano. Oh, completely random. Hey, Devon. But what we want to check is this. So that's the logical test they gave us. If that is true, then if this is true, they're going to say, hey, the answer is Devon. Who knows what I was thinking when I was making up these examples. But if it is false, we're gonna just say his last name. If it's false, then we're gonna say Lozana. Now let's see if this is true. What's the left side, guys? Let's take a look at the left side. 10 plus 2 is 12. The right side, if you do 4 times 7 divided by 2, 4 times 7 is 28, divided by 2 is 14. Does 12 equal to 14? No, this is false. Therefore, what should Excel give us? What should be the output? They better say, hey, Lozano, because this is false. So by actually evaluating the truth value of the logical statement, we are expecting Excel to give us Lozano back. So let's go ahead and double check this. I'm going to go ahead and copy this command, go to my Excel, and then type this in, and I hit enter. Lozano, there you go. So we know what Excel's going to give us. But you know what I mean? As these commands get, the logical tests get a little more complicated. If you want to, I see why not, right? You can check this using Excel. Now let's look at this last one, but we should be able to read this command. And because the goal is for us to be able to write these if functions, more complicated functions. So let's go ahead and type this if function. If, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to type in this into a math type because it looks really, really complicated. 10 minus 2 raised to the what power? Third. Now what's that symbol in between? Greater than or less than or greater than? That means we talked about it, how it does not equal to 5 plus 6. Then say MTH, math. If not, say what? 154. And what's this bar? What's this bar? Can you delete that for me? Can you delete that bar for me? Yes. So that's the logical statement. And what I did was I tried to rewrite this. I wonder if I can highlight the math type. Yeah. I try to rewrite this kind of Excel, into a little more. That's how you usually see it in the math class, right? Then we wanted to say, if that's true, if that statement is true, we want them to say math. And if that's false, then we want it to say 154. So what we're going to do is, we're not going to type this in immediately. We're going to actually test out the truth value of this. So what does that mean? 10 minus what? 2 to the third power is 8, right? And the question is, I may be able to draw a symbol. Does not equal to what number? 5 plus 6 is 11, right? So this turns into what? 2 does not equal to 11. Now, is this true or false? 2 does not equal to 11. This is a true statement, right? Because 2 does not equal to 11. They're not equal to each other. So it's saying, hey, they're not equal to each other. So this is true. So what should Excel say? Output should say math, okay? And we're going to go ahead and test this. We're going to go ahead and type this into Excel to see if it really gives us MTH, okay? Come on, go away. I hit enter. Yes, it did. So just kind of wanted to go over these with you, the expected output of these if functions, even though you will be able to check it with your actual Excel program, but we want to be able to write these ourselves as example 2 and 3. So let's go over example 2 and 3, and let me see if I can, because I wanted them to be a single 2-page note. As you are, many of us are kind of overwhelmed at the end of this semester, and I want to keep our very last lesson as short as possible. So all right, at least it looks short as possible. All right, let's go over example 2, where we have to actually write our own if function. And this is what I'm gonna probably ask you to do on your final exam. And you will see one on today's attendance quiz. And after this, and after doing your 10.2 My Math Lab homework, you will be okay on this. All right, let's see. The owner of a mail order catalog wants to charge a shipping fee of 12% of the subtotal unless the subtotal is $100 or over. That's very common, right? I mean, if you buy anything online, sometimes they have free shipping if you buy a lot, right? So I try to always meet that. What's it called? I always try to spend over $100 on Carters.com when I order my clothes for my son. Sometimes they give these free shipping. But okay, so if you don't order more than $100, then they're gonna charge you how much? 12% of the subtotal unless you buy more. In which case the owner wants shipping to be free. So if it's over $100, or let's look at this carefully. What if it was exactly $100? The owner of a mail order catalog wants to charge a shipping fee of 12% of the subtotal unless the subtotal is 100 or over. Okay. So $100 free shipping, $101 free shipping, $102 free shipping. But what about $99.99? Sorry, you gotta pay 12%. That's what's going on. So let me go ahead and write this down in words first, okay, guys? I'm going to write this down in words first, because before we write a formulas in Excel, I want to make sure that we understand what's going on here. If subtotal is less than $100, then pay 12% of the subtotal, okay? Right? For shipping. Makes sense, right? I wish you were there and say, yes, that makes sense. I miss you guys. Alrighty. Now what's the other case? If subtotal is more than or equal to $100, then you pay $0 for shipping. And that's what we want, really. So if you're like at $99, we're just gonna find a small little stock or something like that. So let's go ahead and write this in Excel formula, okay? Using if function. And of course, I wanna go ahead and just type this in. But I will go and actually try that formula on Excel. Now, guys, what I wanna see is what font looks like a computer font? I don't know. Oh, this one kind of looks like not that one. You're seeing your math teacher wasting time on a font style. Oh, this looks like a computer font. All right, I'm gonna use this one. So equal sign, here's a formula. Equal sign, if, of course it lost the font that I selected, but that's okay. Let me just make it at least a little bit big. Open parenthesis. So what's the logical test? The logical test is this. If the subtotal is less than 100, if the subtotal is less than 100, subtotal is saved in which cell? B1, right? If B1 is less than 100, comma, if B1 is less than 100, then charge 12% of B1, right? If the other way around, if B1 is not, and we don't have to type up B1 is greater than or equal to 100% because this third entry will automatically assume the opposite of this B1 less than 100. So if subtotal is greater than or equal to 100, then what's going to be the shipping charge? 0. And that's it. Okay? Now I'm going to quickly make a chart like this on my Excel and test out this formula, okay? So over here, subtotal 101.25, and then shipping blank. Try to make it even more similar looking by adding some borders and stuff. It's orange color. Okay. Oh no. Oh wow. Okay. Now let's take a look. Equals, well, let me copy this, what I typed up. Let me copy this, what I typed up. Whoopsie. I'm gonna go ahead and type this in here and hit enter. Now, shipping is $0 for this amount. Is that true? Yes, because it's over $100, right? What if I change this to $150? How much should be the shipping? Still 0, right? That's good. What if I change it to $100? $100 subtotal will get us what? $0 shipping, so that's good. What if I go down? What if I just buy like $50 worth stuff? Then the shipping should be 15% off, 12% off of the subtotal. So let me double check. It is 12% times the $50. That is $6. So our if function works perfect. So that's how you can check it. But is there another way to write this formula? I believe so. We can write this another way. Can I write it another way? Just because, in case, if you see this other way. If B1 is greater than or equal to 100, now, I'm kind of using the logical test to be the opposite way, right? If the subtotal is greater than or equal to 100, how much should you pay for shipping? $0, right? Now, if it is not greater than or equal to 100, then what you should pay? 12% of B1. Now, those two they look different, but you know, they're really gonna give us the same answer. So, or just want to talk about both of them in case in a multiple choice homework or multiple choice final exam, you may see one way or the other. So just kind of wanted to do that with you, okay? Alrighty, how about we go over example 3 now? And I try to keep these problems in a single page, but I think I'm not gonna be able to. So let me just why not add some spaces so that you guys can see it better. Oh, no, that was too much space. It has formats like things like that kind of. I don't know. That looks good. Okay. Now let's go over example 3. And example 3, and how about I change that to example 4 down there? Okay, now let's do this one. My height. Okay, my height problem. My height is entered in inches. Yes. If I am 75 inches or over, then my size is tall. Otherwise, it is regular. Thank goodness they don't have short or petite. I am. All right, determine the if function that needs to be entered in cell B2. All right, ready? I know what it should say already. It should say regular because I am never considered a tall person. But let's see. We're going to try to write an if function. But what I'm going to also do first is I will try to, write this in a sentence. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and try to write this in a sentence. So if sentence, let's see. If my, well, how did I say? Did I use cell referencing up here? No, I'll just do this. If the height in B1 is greater than or equal to 75, then my size is tall. If, the other way around, if the height in B1 is less than or less than, not equal to, less than, what, 75, then my size is regular. That's what I want my if function to say, right? So let's go ahead and type up the if function in Excel formula. So that's going to be, let me make it a little bit bigger. If, now logical test. If B1 is greater than or equal to 75, let's say that. If B1 is greater than or equal to 75, then they should say TALL. And this is what I noticed, guys. We're going to have to fix this later. Because when I type it, it automatically like close the parentheses. We will fix this when we type this in Excel. Comma. If else, if that's not true, then it better say regular. And that is it. Or you know how you can say it the other way around, right? Or you can say if B1 is what? Less than 75. If B1 is less than 75, if height is less than 75, what should it say? It should say regular. If that's not true, if it's the other way around, then it should say tall. And these are the two good formulas. Both are fine. But the logical test is just the opposite. That's why the second and third entry are opposite. But let me go ahead and type this in Excel together and see if these formulas work, okay? So that's my A, B1, and B2 for, let me just make another cell sheet. And what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop the lesson video and then start another one doing the nested if function. Because this is really, the regular if function is all I'm going to put on your final exam. But you may want to kind of come back and watch example 4 and 5 for the My Math Lab homework, even though it's like 2 problems. So I'll go ahead and stop this so that you guys can, if you want to take the attendance quiz first and prepare for the final exam, which is going to be next week. All right, let's go ahead and type this in Excel. This is height in inches and size down here. And then, well, right now I have 62.4. That's how tall I am, guys. And then the size should be blank. I'm just going to make it look a little bit nicer, and the borders, what? Green color, looks good. Okay, so that's what I have so far, and the formula that I will use is this. Now, take a look. I'll just copy this, but it's going to create an error. It's not going to be happy. And then if I enter, they do that. The reason is, I don't know, for some reason when I type this in Word, the quotation marks, it changes. So you may want to change these when you want to type this in Excel. Now hit enter. Now what do we expect the output to be? If I hit enter, Am I tall or regular? I'm a regular, so I better see a regular. Regular, that's good. Now, what if I am 75? Well, should it still say regular? No, it should say tall, right? Tall, that did it. What if I'm 78 inches? Tall. What if I am 52 inches? Regular. So this formula works very great. Now, if I can check the other one, because both are fine, both are correct, and I'm just showing you both in case your multiple choice has one of the way. 52 inches is considered regular. I am 62.5 inches. I am still regular. What if I am 75 inches? There we go. We're tall now. 79, tall. So this formula works great, but just kind of wanted to mention that the quotation mark may be a little messed up if you copy it from Word doc to Excel. But that's it. That is how we use Excel's if function. So what I'm going to do is I just went over the basic if function with you in this video. What I will do is I will come back and I will go over the nested if function in another video. Okay? But this is all I'm going to put on your final exam. But the nested if function is slightly more complicated. So let's do that one on my other video. Okay? But this should be ready enough for you to take your attendance quiz now.